Let's go check out how to use Google AdMob and install on our Android project so we can start displaying a few ads here. So if we navigate to Google AdMob, as you see here, developers.google.com, AdMob Android banner. Okay, let me make this a little bit bigger perhaps. You can also go ahead and Google, as always, Google AdMob, and you should one way or the other get to this main page here. So Google always does an amazing job at explaining exactly how to do things, okay? So go ahead and read as much as you can. So at the top here, you can click Get Started, and it goes ahead and tells you exactly the guidelines to monetize your applications and doing all sort of things, okay? You can go ahead and play this video if you wish to do so, so you can see. And here it tells you exactly the prerequisites that are needed in order for this to work. So anything Android Studio 1.0 or higher, which should be good by now, should work. API level 14 or higher, which should be good as well. And here it recommends us to actually create a Google AdMob account and register an app. So if you right click here, open new link, it goes and takes you exactly to this account. Now, if you don't have an account, just go ahead and sign up. So here there's a few options that says, for instance, I already have an AdSense account. I need a Google account. If you click here, it tells exactly what to do. So this is my case. I would click here and it will take me to the apps.admob.com. Of course, it says our terms have changed. I'm going to go ahead and say accept. Remember, this is my case. Depending on your case, you would have to follow a different path. Okay. And once everything is good, in this case here, notice I'm not getting any money. So this is just empty, but you can see there's a lot of information here. And you can go ahead and look at previous dates and so forth. So for me, it shouldn't really show much because I haven't done anything in a long time. If you go to the apps to the left here, you can see a few apps that I have. Some of them are no longer available. Okay. So now you can see that I have all of the apps showing here that I have. So you can see here I have this one active ad unit and it has all that information. So here what I'm going to do in our apps, I'm going to go ahead and say add new app. This app is not on Google Play or App Store, right? And I'm going to give it a name real quick here. This app is going to be called Test My App Ads, something like that. It's going to be Android. I'm going to say add. The moment that happens, you can see that we have our app ID. So this is a number that is very important because we're going to need that later. Very good. So I'm going to leave this there. In fact, I'm going to copy this just in case. I'm going to go back to our Google AdMob there. And at this point here, let's go back to get started here. The same page we were on. So in this case here, if you want just to test the waters and see how the ads show on your application, so this is just testing, you then are going to use this test ads as it says here. Okay, so go ahead and read around. So in this case here, we're going to go ahead and say get started, pretty much the same place where we've been. Now, in our case here, we need to import the mobile ads SDK, and they even tell us exactly what to do. So I already have a project that I created. Okay, so create just a very simple project. And then I'm going to go to our Gradle, I'm going to module app Gradle, and I'm going to add as a dependency this Google Play service ads. So let's go ahead and copy this. And back here, I'm just going to find at the bottom there. I'm going to put ours right there. Sync. Very good. Everything is built successfully. Nice. So back to our code, let's go ahead and continue, see what else do they tell us to do. So we need to also update our Android manifest file, okay? And look at this. So I'm going to copy all of this metadata. This has to be inside of the application tag. That's very important to know exactly where we're going. So let's go to manifest. And inside of our application still, maybe somewhere here, paste it all in there. Now, it says here your AdMob API ID. So in this case here, if we just want to use a simple AdMob API ID, we can just copy this like that. And of course, add it here. Now, because we already have also, in my case, I have an actual API ID, I can just copy this one and put it there. But in this case, I'm just going to go follow along and do this one because I'm just doing a sample one. Okay. So next, they tell us to initialize mobile ads. And there is a few warnings here to make sure that we know exactly what's going on. So go ahead and read on that, but we are interested in looking at the actual code. So now we are ready to look at how to initialize our AdMob. So really what we're going to do is just copy all of this, just these 2 lines, or just that one, but I'm going to get both of them. Go to our main activity and just paste it in like that. Of course, we'll have to import our mobile ad, like that. And voila, we have our mobile ads initialized and everything. And of course here, I'm going to go ahead and paste in the same code that I've added earlier in our manifest here. I'm going to copy this, go back to main and put it there. Okay. So now we are set up with our mobile ads SDK. So now that we have all set up, let's go back to our AdMob website here and look at how to select an ad format. So there's different kinds of ad formats we can serve to our users. There's the banner type, and we have a button here on how to implement a banner. We have to implement an interstitial, which is an ad that takes up the entire screen, and we also have a native ads. Okay, so let's start with our implement banner. So click there. Again, it's going to go ahead and give you everything. Okay, so there is a little explanation. We can watch a video if you wish to do so. The important part here is that we have to add an ad view in the layout. So in this case here, I'm just going to go ahead and copy all of this. I can just go ahead and click this. It's copied. Let's go back to our Android Studio. Let's go to main activity. I'm going to get rid of all of this and paste it all in there. Okay, I'm going to get rid of all this because we don't actually have all of that in our project. No problem. And at this point, let me get rid of this hello world. Well, actually, I can leave it there. Let's just go ahead and extract that. Hello ads. Okay, there we go. So the important part here is that notice this XML here, which is of ad view type. So we have to have this one because Android will know where to put the banner. And notice also the ad unit ID was also added here. So this is the test one. All right. Save this. Let's go back to our instructions. And also notice here you can also programmatically create the ad view, but we already did that. So next we're going to go ahead and test our ad. So in this case here, there is the main activity excerpt, which gives us the actual information how to do all of that. So in fact, I'm going to come down here, copy all of that, go back in our main activity, on create, I'm going to pass in the code. Okay, very simple. I'm going to create an actual, say, private ad view, call add view like that. Okay, so we have the instantiation at the bottom here. We're getting our ad view, which we created here, right? This ad view. Very good. And of course, add request, just import. Gonna use that one, and life is good. So we instantiated our view that we created. We requested the add request. We create our add request, which goes ahead and builds that instance, and we invoke the load method and pass our add request. All right, let's go back. And you can see here it says that's it. That's all you need to do. Let's go ahead and give it a run to see if this actually is going to serve us something. That looks fine. Let's use that emulator there. And you can see AdMob has YouTube, and there it is. It's a test ad is showing at the bottom there. That's how you show ads on your application. And obviously, remember, this is a test ad. In fact, it even says here test ad. So when you're ready to push your application to the public, obviously you will have to follow the process that I showed you, where you have to create the actual app ID, your ad app ID, which you're going to be using to actually create real ads. Now make sure also to read through everything in this document. It's very important because you don't want to end up with problems and headaches and maybe also get your ad account revoked. Okay, so anytime you are dealing with money, something that potentially gets you money, you have to make sure that you play by the rules. Otherwise, you may end up with a lot of problems, and that's not a good thing. So you notice even it's changing the ad, by the way. We got back, now there's another ad is showing there. So the other thing also, you notice that there's different other ads formats we can add, which in this case could be interstitial too. You can follow the same thing here. Notice for the interstitial, you have to actually create an interstitial ad instance at the top here and create one and pass this for the context. And of course, also must pass the ID. All right, very good. So there we go. You now have all of the tools to start showing ads on your applications and make money.